Hi, I'm Brian Mahone, founder of Igloo Insurance, where we offer transparent risk advice to business owners and families. Today, we're talking about insuring your restaurant or bar. There's a ton of unique risk. We'll cover those, the top coverages, the top carriers. Let's dive right in. So, what are the top exposures when you're running a restaurant or bar? Number one's getting sued because of slips and falls. Patrons trip either on their way to the bathroom, into the building, or maybe they had too much to drink. Speaking of too much to drink, liquor liability, right? If you serve alcohol, you could be exposed to claims from intoxicated patrons, both what they do on premise at your business and then what they do when they leave your establishment, whether they get behind the wheel of a car or something worse. Um, Property damage, right? Fires, kitchen accidents, vandalism, all these can shut down your bar or restaurant temporarily. There's also the risk of foodborne illnesses, right? Spoilage or contamination or undercooked food can lead to lawsuits or lost revenue, or maybe the health inspector giving you kind of a failing report card at your restaurant. Last one we'll mention is employee injuries, right? Cuts from knives, prepping food, burns from dishwashers or cooking. There's also kind of long-term repetitive motion injuries from tasks like washing dishes or serving food. These can absolutely plague your business. So here's the top few coverages you'll need. Number one is general liability insurance. This is your bare bones basic business insurance that covers you for third-party claims of bodily injury or property damage. This is your foundation. Number two is liquor liability. If you serve alcohol at your restaurants, which most do, this protects you if a patron causes harm after they're served, potentially overserved. Commercial property insurance, number three here, covers your building, kitchen, equipment, signage, inventory from fire, theft, or vandalism. Restaurants might have tens of thousands of dollars of inventory, right, of paper products and food products, as well as a ton of cooking equipment. So you have to be sure you're keeping those values up to date. And then workers' compensation is mandatory in most states. Covers medical expenses and lost wages for injured employees. If you want to dive more into workers' comp, we'll put a link to a card of a video completely on workers' comp. The last thing I'll mention for your restaurant or bar is business interruption insurance. This is a kind of subset of property insurance. So if there's a property loss that shuts down your business and you can't operate, this can cover your lost income plus continued operating expenses. It's absolutely crucial. Some of the special things we recommend from a coverage perspective is food contamination or spoilage coverage. Might not necessarily already be covered in your property insurance. Your business owner's policy or commercial package likely has a sublimit for spoilage due to power outages or equipment failure. Especially if you're maybe like a seafood restaurant or a steakhouse with really expensive kind of frozen or refrigerated food, you really want to be sure you have ample spoilage coverage. Number two, cyber liability. You might not think of this right away as a restaurant, but if you take online orders, take credit cards, you use social media, you use email, you use an inventory tracking software, you use QuickBooks, right? Cyber liability protects your business from a financial loss due to a data breach or cyber incident where your operations are either stopped or are severely slowed down because you can't access the crucial technology used to run your business. So always ask yourself, what technology do I rely on to run my business, period, but also to run it efficiently and effectively? The last special thing we want to make sure bars and restaurants have is assault and battery coverage. Often this is a sublimit in a liquor liability policy, but it's especially important if you stay open late, maybe if you have a dance floor, you're kind of a late night venue, or you are just a great watering hole for your community. So some common mistakes that business owners and restaurant entrepreneurs make is under-insuring their property, right? So many business owners, they don't update their coverage. Maybe they do renovations, they add a nice porch for outside seating, or maybe they get new equipment after they've been up and running for a few years. They want to make sure they keep those policies up to date. Some restaurants even skip having liquor liability coverage, which of course we don't recommend. Even if it's not required by some sort of landlord or municipal township or entity, It is a must-have if you're serving patrons alcoholic beverages, right? Not reviewing leases. So some landlords leases require specific coverages in their tenant agreements, right? Their rental agreements. So when restaurants are looking for new space or maybe renting space for the first time, you absolutely want to pay attention to what your landlord's insuring and then what you're supposed to be insuring. Buying on price alone is another big one. Cheaper isn't always better, especially in insurance. You usually get what you pay for, so you must understand what's covered, but also what's excluded. So the top carriers we trust and recommend for business owners in the hospitality, restaurant, bar industries, we always recommend trying to shop local, right? With regional carriers. We're here in Pennsylvania. We love Erie, Selective, Donegal, even Philadelphia Insurance Company. They get into the hospitality, entertainment, liquor liability space. And then some large national carriers like maybe a Travelers or a Hartford also excel at offering property and casualty insurance to bars and restaurants. So if you're a bar or restaurant owner and you want to make sure you're covered, as solid as your menu is at your establishment, right, reach out to us here at Igloo Insurance. We'll walk you through everything with transparency and no fluff. So don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much.